Well, hello and welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Got my coffee this time. This is one of the bonuses of working close to home, is you can drink coffee on the water, take photos on an overcast day. But I know I said I was going to take, I did say I was going to go out and do lots of hiking and do overnight hikes and 2-night hikes and lots of stuff and photograph the, someone just going past tooting the horn, but photograph the mountains and whatever. But I just thought at the start of all this, I might stay close to home for the first few, because we've got heaps of stuff to shoot around here anyway. And it's beautiful at the moment. I mean, this low cloud is really quite nice to shoot in. You can probably, I don't know if you can see here, but there's no shadows when you get the clouds. It's like having a massive big softbox over the sun. So, you know, our subject, which is nature, is encased with this softbox. So it's cutting out all that harsh shadows and the brights and the darks and all the contrast between all that. So don't hesitate to get outside and shoot in overcast conditions, and then you get all this amazing cloud sort of structure through the hills here. 2 layers of clouds. So there's the thick lower cloud that's hanging around the mountains. Then we've got another layer above that that is sort of very high cloud, filtering all that sun. We've got a lot of rain forecast for the next few days, so hopefully after this, after all the rain, we might be able to get in and get some waterfall shots. So, because there'll be a lot of water coming off the hills and off the mountains all around the place. So maybe go back to Buffalo or maybe up to Fainter Falls near Falls Creek and get some waterfall shots as well for the next one. It really is pretty. I'm going to take a couple of shots through here and with those clouds, but I'm going to put on the bigger lens again because, as you know, I'm a bit of a stickler for a large lens. But I put the big lens on. So in this instance with the bigger lens, because I'm just going to isolate that hill in the background there, which is Mount Emu. It's quite interesting. We'll see how that comes up. It's nice, the texture through there with the cloud and everything going on, and even across here with these trees, you've got the trees and then you've got the cloud in the background doing sort of strange things, and it gives it another element. So there's a real sort of feel there, and they actually could work quite nice as black and white photos. I think that's the beauty of digital now too, is that you can shoot in colour and then later turning your shots into black and white, whereas back in the old days, back in the film days, you actually had to carry different films around with you. You had to carry a black and white film, a colour film, different ASA speed films, which is what's now called ISO. So that's the speed of the film you use to, it needs less light to expose the film, or now the sensor. So you used to have all this different light. So if you're shooting a wedding, I had 3 cameras when I was shooting weddings. So I had one camera that I'd have black and white film in, one camera that I'd have 50 ASA film in, and another camera that I would have sort of 800 ASA or 400, depending on what's. So the 400 being so you could shoot when the light got a bit lower or you wanted to do a bit of funky stuff, and then the slower speed film for the nice crispness and sharpness of it all, and then your black and white. So you couldn't just change it into black and white when you got it home. But I mean, this is pretty what's going on over here, and like I say, just because it's overcast doesn't mean it's not worth going out and shooting, because we're getting all these layers at the moment, which is great. The Pondage here is amazing. There's a little bit of breeze at the moment, so we're not getting the reflections, but we get some beautiful reflections, and the trees and just the mountains and Mount Bogong that you can't see because it's in behind that cloud up there. But when we get reflections of that in the water, and there's snow on it and all sorts of funky things going on, it looks very cool. Now we've got this beautiful little poppy here that I might use to demonstrate the effects that different apertures have on images. So I'll tell you what we'll do. With the first one I'll shoot with f20, which will give, it means the aperture's shut right down, so the hole's very small, and that will give it a lot more depth of field, so you get a lot more in focus in the image, and the second one I'll shoot at f2.8. So you'll see then that that's wide open, so it's letting a lot of light in, but also drops the depth of field right down, so you're getting a lot shallower depth of field. So in doing this, we have to then adjust our shutter speed to accommodate for the different apertures we're using, because 2.8 is a really large aperture, so that's letting a lot of light in, and f20 is a very small aperture, so not much light's getting in. So we're going to have to slow down the shutter speed to let more light in that instance, and speed the shutter speed up at 2.8. We'll go for another example of shooting with our aperture 4.5, take the ISO back down to 100, shoot it possibly 800 might be enough. Oh no, we're going to still have to go up to 1600. But I will focus on our grasses in the foreground, and then the trees, the hills in the background. And we'll just have a look at the difference. I mean, it's a beautiful scene. You've really got some layers going on there. Grasses and hills and clouds and all sorts of stuff. Get lower and try and get some. I'm getting wet here. I'm sacrificing here. Yeah, we'll see how that looks. Well, once again, thanks heaps for tuning in and putting up with me. But if you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Even better, give me a subscribe, and let's see how we go with this rain. And the next one we might be doing some waterfall photography, and we'll see how we go there. Cool. Okay, catch you again.